I agree with Babu Joseph when he says that we cannot treat all cases alike. But this is not an all case. This is an exceptional case. And it cannot be laid out as a precedent. I agree with that. But our Supreme Court has done many things on a case-to-case basis. It should not be a blanket statement that anybody who is not able to live or who is living differently abled, differently talented people should all die. One is not saying that. But what one is saying is that this particular case, when you said she has only a faint glimmer of a life, but that life itself is a trauma. What she recollects is only the trauma of the rape. And if she recognizes anything, she starts screaming. Any man enters the room, she's in a horrified state and nobody can soothe her in that state. It is so pathetic to see her in this condition. So I think if we care for life, then we would really care for a peaceful death, a death with dignity, so that she doesn't have to continue to live this trauma even in her subconscious mind. And I think we have not been able to provide any support for her, provide any help, provide any kind of solace to her. And it's today to argue, yes, because she's alive, we can't play God and we have to keep her alive, let her die her own death and let her continue for the next 20 years. I think that's an inhuman statement to make.
It's an inhuman statement to make. In fact, perhaps this is a case where we can argue for the liberation of that suffering soul from that body. But Surendra Dhelia, the question that has actually arisen many times on many mercy-killing deaths is, in a society like India, where we see the old as burdens, where the poor are marginalized by the healthcare system, where there are often conflicts over property and wealth that people want to inherit from the dead person. Can mercy killing not simply, if it's allowed in this case, then become a legal precedent, if it does become one, to actually let people get rid of their aging parents or people they want to inherit property from?
Sagarika, whatever can be used can be abused. A surgeon can use a knife to cure a person or to kill a person. So we have got to have proper safeguards. What are we achieving by keeping Aruna Shanbag alive? Is she of any use to herself? Is she of any use to the society? Is she of any use to the nation? By allowing her to have a peaceful exit, on the contrary, we are ending her survival which is already deadened. Now, we have got to have proper safeguards. I am not saying anybody who comes and says I am terminally ill, I am suffering, I have a lot of pain and I have tried everything that's possible and I want a peaceful exit. No, we have got to have proper safeguards. If you remember,
but Surendra Dhelia, one of the other perhaps worrying things about this is that this is happening by proxy. Pinky Virani has taken up this courageous step by going to the Supreme Court, but on the other hand, she's not the next of kin. She is simply a proxy for Aruna. So can this again not open the floodgates of people acting by proxy on someone who is brain dead and saying, well, this person should be put out of their misery?
What we have to learn from cases like this is when we are competent, when we are able to take decisions, that time we should sign something called a living will, an advance directive, whereby we say ki in future, if something happens to me wherein I cannot take decision for myself, this is what I wish to be done, or this is what should not be given to me. Or we can appoint a constituted attorney that, in case I am not capable of taking any decision, I appoint so and so to take decisions on my behalf. Here, I would compliment the lawyer who has filed this petition. But unfortunately, there is no living will. There is no power of attorney appointed by her. So I do not know the legalities of the case. But on humanitarian grounds, I wish she succeeds.
Right. Let's take a short break at this point and come back.